Hey, peace and blessings, family. It's Ro. I'm back up in the building. I'm getting ready to do an interview around marriage to Black Continuum. And so, you know me, I'm doing these series of interviews around Black marriage. And, I think we got to have this conversation on what Black marriage looks like. Sorry, y'all got stuff coming up here. So I'm like trying to. So, what Black marriage looks like. And I'm excited about it. So in a minute or so, we'll be joined by the Ojuoks. And they're going to be talking to us about their marriage and how they met and all that kind of stuff. This is a series I put together because I feel like in the work that I do, I work with a lot of young people, and they have no clue about marriage and what it means and what it takes to be married and how people meet each other and all that kind of stuff. So that's what this particular interviews are about. It's really all about Black marriage, what I call the Great Continuum. And we're going to be talking to the Ojuoks out of the, I think they're in Atlanta, or somewhere. I can't remember where. But they're my latest interview around Black marriage. So as we're preparing for them to come on to join me, I am looking forward to. Okay, sis, can you invite me from here? Yeah, I think I can. Hold on, sis. I think I can. Hold on. I think I can. Let's see. As long as you're on a cell phone there, sis. Let's see. Let's see. Boop. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm trying to do something here. All right, y'all, give me a minute. Let me try to get my little fingers up in here. As long as you're on a cell. Are we friends on Facebook? Because I think we have to be friends for me to invite you in. Yeah, let's see. All right, give me a minute, sis. Let me try to, y'all, work this on out here. I'm going to go here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Uh-oh, I done did something. Sorry, y'all. Hold the phone. Boop, okay. So, let's see. Can I invite you from here? You know what? So you must be under your husband's name. This is Baba. Okay, husband. Okay, yeah, so we're not friends. So if you just sent me a friend request, then I can get you in here. Hold on, let me see. Okay, Londa, hold on, y'all. Give me just a minute, family, because I'm really looking forward to this conversation, to be very honest with you. So let's see. Let's get you invited in. Come on, computer. Peace, Brother Jamil. How are you? We're talking about that Black marriage today. That I'm so loving it. Okay, this is saying, let's see. Okay, I just sent you a friend request, Baba. Yeah. Hey, Jamil. Hey, I thought about you this weekend because we did a memorial to my dad, and y'all like from that same kind of mode, and just looked over a lot of pictures and stuff. So I thought about the suaveness of you. Okay, Baba, I believe I just sent you a request. And as soon as you accept it, then I can invite you in to the room. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, you're welcome, dear sis. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Okay, so, Baba, I just invited you. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see what I got. Hold on. Okay, so Baba, if you're watching, there's a little green little icon at the bottom of your phone. Hit that button, and that should allow you to come on. Black marriage is in effect, y'all. We're going to be talking about the Great Continuum, which is Black marriage. And I'm doing these interviews, hopefully one every week, to talk to black couples because they exist. There you go, brother. Let's see. And we got this saying adding. So that's very hopeful. Okay, let's see. So if you have an Android, you may have to hit the rotation button to bring you on. Because we're gonna be talking about black marriage. So there we go. Yay! But you have to probably move somewhere because those lights are not gonna allow us to see you.
I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on one second.
Okay. So while we're waiting for them, family, they're coming into the room. I'm excited. So this is a part of the Great Continuum Black Marriage, and we're gonna talk to this couple here and find out how they got together and all that great stuff. Anybody know me? Know I love this. So this is what I live for. So how you doing?
All right. Yes, the queen will be here in just a second.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you for getting all the technology together. And
yes. I'm the IT guy now. So.
Right. Where are you guys at? Where are you? What city are you in?
We're actually in Houston, Texas.
Houston. Okay, I like Texas. Yeah. Are y'all originally from Texas?
Yes, yeah. We're originally from Fort Worth. Both of us originally from Fort Worth, Texas, which is outside of Dallas. We just moved to Houston about 5 months ago, so we're new to Houston.
So what do y'all think about Houston? What do you think about Houston?
I love it, man. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. A lot more black people, you know. A lot more black-owned businesses here. Some beautiful, wonderful people down here. It's fast. It's faster than where we're from. You know, I admit that. You know, but it's a beautiful city. The weather. Oh my goodness, we don't have winter. You know what I'm saying? It's nice here. It's nice. I think it was cold today, about 62.
People in the snow is like, really?
Yeah, it was cold today, about 62. You know, so it was a little nippy. It was a little nippy today, but
wow,
really nice. You know, shout out Jamil Muhammad, Stop 6.
Yeah,
Stop 6. That's my neighborhood. That's the neighborhood I grew up in Fort Worth.
Wow. So is your family from Fort Worth, or they're from deeper into the South, or just from right there?
Most Texas, definitely Texas. You know what I'm saying? My family's been in Texas for some generations. So yeah, we've been here for some generations. So I think my mom was originally from Abilene and you know, and other little small towns, and you know, so yeah, my dad's originally from Jefferson, Texas. And myself and Nkoyo, we both grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. And I think our people like from Mahia, Texas, and we come from country folk.
I love it. I absolutely love it. While we're waiting for the queen, I wanted to start by asking you, when you were growing up, what was your idea of black marriage or seeing black couples married?
Wow. You know, I saw one long-term marriage growing up in my family. You know, my mom, you know, she was in and out of a couple relationships. She did end up getting married to my stepfather when I was about 10 years old. And they were together for a while, you know, and sometimes it was good. Sometimes it didn't seem so good, you know, and so I kind of had mixed feelings, you know, as a youngster. I was like, I ain't gonna ever get married, you know, and then the brother in my family that had been married the longest, you know, he sat me down when I was about 14, 15, looked me dead in my eyes, say, don't ever get married.
Wow.
You know, and so that had an impression on me in my earlier years. It really wasn't until I got knowledge of self and started embracing an African-centered worldview and understanding the importance of the black family, you know, in my later teen years, about 18, 19, 20 years old, where I said, you know what, you know, I want to get married and have a family one day.
So what do you mean when you say African-centered worldview or spirituality? How did that impact your view of marriage?
Because I came to an understanding that there's a science behind marriage, and marriage wasn't just about finding somebody, and you know what I'm saying. And cause you know I'm a Gemini, so when I was a youngster, I didn't know who I might love you on Wednesday and love somebody else next Thursday. You know, it just depends on which personality was out. You know, and I saw marriage as something that just wouldn't let me be myself. You know, I can't go out no more, can't eat anymore, and that sort of thing. You know, it wasn't until, and it's just for me. For others, it may be different, but it wasn't until I developed a serious sense of community through African-centered education. And when I said African, when I learned, start looking through the world through an African lens, right? When I started understanding what racism was and started understanding, you know, looking at the crack epidemic blew up when I was growing up, and just looking at how families were falling apart, and wanting to do something about it, and just coming to an understanding by talking to elders and that sort of thing, that, you know what, maintaining a family is a part of that. It's a part of the fight. You know, it got to the point to where maintaining a black family is a revolutionary act.
Right on. Right on.
So,
Wow. So mm, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. So what were some of the earlier ideas you seen of marriage that make you feel like that's something that you wanted to do? So you said in African spirituality, you kind of see, did you see couples? Did you see people interacting in a certain way that made you
I
feel
did,
like?
you know, I did. I saw, and not that all of a sudden I just saw a bunch of couples that just didn't have problems. I just started understanding that. I just started gaining an understanding that it's bigger than me. That it's not all me, you know, and that, you know, a man and a woman who love each other, but also want to build something powerful together. That marriage was a science that was developed by our ancestors to enable us to do that. You know, a family is more than just being in love. It's a business, you know, and it's a legacy, you know, and so we wanted, my wife and I wanted to build a legacy together, you know, and so that's kind of what it was, and just kind of looking around, and when my perception of black women changed. You know, I came up in a hip hop generation, you know, and the gangster rap generation, you know, and so, you know, I didn't see women as goddesses. I didn't see black women as queens. I saw something else, you know. I was taught not to trust them, you know. But when I started looking at African women and seeing the beauty in the African woman, and really started learning how to appreciate it, well then yeah, absolutely. You know, you want to honor your queen and make that commitment and build something powerful, you know, with your queen. And speaking of, we're gonna have to get close.
Yeah. I gotta get
There
y'all.
we go.
There we go. Peace, Queen. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I am great. Thank y'all so much for taking time to talk to me. This is like such an important subject matter to my heart, because I work with a lot of girls, and we talk about, you know, every now and then marriage, and they don't really have a concept because they can't necessarily sit down and talk. So when I take these interviews, I show these to my classes when we're talking about relationships. When you were growing up, what was your ideal of marriage?
I would have to say mine went through a couple of stages. When I was young, um, before teen, you know, pre-teens, I would say I had the fairy tale thought of marriage. You know, you find the husband, you have the babies, you have a home, and you know, you go to work and you come home, you bake your cookies and do all that stuff. So I had that, you know, what media showed me, what TV showed me, because at home personally I didn't have that. My grandmother was a loner. I didn't see a man come around to do much of anything. So let me stop. So I didn't see a man much. I would say that. But as I got older, I would have to say that because of what I saw in my home, the lack of the male role models, or from my aunties, you know, it was just dysfunctional, domestic abuse, just, and it was on both sides, it's just different. So it was dysfunctional, and I didn't want. I would have to say I didn't want marriage. So what I saw from what I saw in my home personally, it led me to believe I was never going to get married. I said that I was going to be a successful woman, high-rise apartment or something, you know, again, fantasizing about what media was showing me, with the New York high-rise, you know, being a CEO of this, and never having children and never being married. And then I think as I got, once I had my own children, I was a teenage mom twice. And once I had those children, I think the idea kind of crept up on me to say, well, maybe you could have it, but I don't know. The little of my dysfunction came in, and I thought, well, maybe I'm just gonna probably be have my baby daddies, and I would have to be in the projects with my babies. But then, you know, I got into church. Believe it or not, I got into church, and I was a great church family. And the positive families, marriages that I saw there gave me hope, gave me and made me understand that it's not always where you start, it's about where you end, and you make this life that is given to you. So it was plenty of positive families, marriages that were going on there. My pastor and his wife, so many around me, and they were productive. They were successful as far as it came to business, came to, you know, working. They loved on each other. It wasn't fake, because I was all intermingled within their lives. So I got it back, you know. So I think it got me ready for the marriage that I have now. And it also it took away that false sense of what marriage really, you know, what they portray it to be. So so that's why I say 3 stages. Hope that wasn't too lengthy, but it
No,
was
no.
progression. It was progression.
So at this stage, what was your ideals of black men as a mate?
At the stage I am now, or at the stage
No,
before
no.
I got
When you were
married?
growing up, when you looked at black men, because I like the way he explained he was in the hip hop generation. That just made so much sense. You know,
Okay.
in terms of like your evolution to, you know, one of the stats say that 70% of us are not married. It didn't say we're not hooking up or made it, but it said we're not married, or you know, we're not like
Absolutely.
paired up, if you will, whether
Yes.
if it's legal marriage or not. But
Yes.
what was your ideas of black men at that time in your life?
Yes. So again, early on, I thought they were the greatest thing in the world. I guess actually, with preteens, I didn't have color. Again, I didn't see men that much, so I didn't fantasize what a black man would be like in my life. I saw them as irrelevant, to tell you the truth. And then as I got into my teens, into the hip hop, I did grow up in the hip hop area as well, and I saw them as misogynistic. I didn't know that was the word at the time, but I knew that it seemed like it was, you know, that I was product. I was a piece of meat to them, and I didn't want it. They were very aggressive, very, you know, tough, and I was like, I don't know. It's just, you know, it was during the gang banging era. It was just a lot going on, and so I really I didn't know if I wanted to be tied to it, other than how I had been tied to them. And then once I got into my young adulthood, again, that's when I started seeing the evolution of black men. I started seeing the positive side of them, but I saw them as and being in the Christian world, so it was very spiritual for me. It was um, they were very I think it was just a spiritual thing. I saw as I got into the church world. I don't know. Black man, as I saw them then, someone I wanted to get to know them on the level, the positive side of them, you know, versus what I had known before.
So how did you both find each other? What's the story of how y'all met? Like what?
Well, you know,
I'll be right
I
back.
think she might have treated me like a piece of meat at first, you know, objectified and all this chocolate when she first met me. No, I'm just playing. We've actually known each other for a long time. We met actually when I was in high school and she was in junior high. She used to hang out with my little sister. you know, and of course I didn't notice her then, like notice her, but you know, she'd come over to the house and that sort of thing. And she'll tell you, you know, she told my little sister, you know, she had a little crush. She had a little crush on me.
I did, and I think it was just that you know how you say something, you don't mean it, but you don't, and you don't think anything of it. But I
She
said
meant
it,
She
and
meant, what'd you say? What'd you say?
because I really vaguely remember a lot of our interactions.
You remember what you said?
But I remember that one
I ain't told her
time.
what you said.
Can you be quiet? Let me speak.
Okay.
Okay. He just gets so excited because I did tell his little sister that, you know, he's gonna be my husband one day. And again, I said it and I went on. It was no, I didn't dwell on it. I didn't just drool over him. I didn't follow behind him but I said it and I moved on. And we that was it. I think we went to different high schools, his sister and I. And so we didn't keep our friendship that close as we did in middle school. And so after that, we got back together. I was actually doing community work, and he was working at an alternative school. Well, I wouldn't say it was alternative. Would you say
it was alternative school? Yeah, it was. Okay. Education center.
It was Branches Education Center for those who are from Fort Worth. He was working there, and I was doing some community work, and I came to be a teacher's assistant or something there as well. That's when we ran back into each other, and that was our
that was phase two.
Phase two, yeah. It's a 3-part for us too.
That was phase two.
That was when I was just getting into church and everything. So I was redefining myself as a woman and as a person. So we were cool, and I admired him, how he interacted with the children. I've always loved how he captivated children, the audience. You know, he captivated everybody, but definitely the youth. So I would watch him, and we would just work alongside each other. You know, it was a little soft flirting, you know, a little tension here and there. But then we went off to do our own thing.
Yeah.
He went to start his family, and I went to continue my family. We met back up probably about 7 years later, and I was still in the church. I was going to actually dance in a church play.
We were at the MLK Center.
At the MLK Center, Martin Luther King Center, doing a community play. He was doing community work.
Some Liberians about the Liberian Civil War.
Yes, and I passed by, and I just heard somebody say, "Nicole." That's the name I was going by then. And we locked eyes. We met. Hey, how you doing? And it was like no one else was in the room. It was another sister in the room with us.
Yeah, bless her heart.
You know how they have it, like it was like it was just us, and that's really how it was. And then we started dating, and we've been together ever since. That's it.
And so we've been married.
Wow.
This is our 10th year being married, but we've been together.
Yeah.
2009 is our 10th year being married, but we've been together about 15 years. 15 years. Yeah. So, and I'm talking about attached at the hip, like you see right
like
here.
this.
This is my body.
So when did y'all decide to get married? When did y'all decide to get married, though? When did the marriage thing come?
We realized we were married anyway.
Okay. We realized we were doing everything that married people did. We combined our families before we got married, and so we I think we were. It was at a point where we were again we were doing a lot together. We were life happened and kind of made us need each other. And I think it was on purpose, because I think we both were loners. We were both used to just doing our own thing and not needing other people. So when it came, life happened and it caused us to need each other. And we just looked, and I'm gonna tell it. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Talking about?
Well, we have been talking about marriage. And we have been talking about, what it would look like if we decided to get married, and he said he wanted to get his, everybody say, I want to get ready. I want to get my life right. He wanted to get his health he wanted to get his body and his health in a better shape, and he wanted to finances and da da da. And I said, well, why do that separate when we can do it together? We need to do it anyway. Let's do it together. And so he liked to tell everybody that I proposed to him, but
That's
whatever.
her way of saying
That's
she
my
asked
rational way
you
of
to
looking
marry.
at
And
it.
it's okay. And
It
it's
was it
okay.
was
You're a
really the
liberated black woman. Liberated black woman. Just say, let's make this happen. And we made it happen. And we understood that it was going to be a journey. We understood that it was going to be a challenge, and we just couldn't think of anybody else that we would rather take on that challenge with than each other.
So what is the role of a husband and wife? What are those roles, or what are some of those things that they do?
Hmm, that's a good question.
what,
Um,
hmm.
well, I can speak for a husband.
Okay.
I feel like the role of a husband is number one to be responsible. We have to think before we act. We have to be trustworthy. We have to take care of and be caretakers of those who rely on us. I think the role of a husband is to comfort your wife, to uplift and empower your wife. I make your compliments dreams your dreams. Make your compliments goals your goals. We didn't just hook up because we have the same favorite color and the same favorite foods. She has goals and things that she wants to achieve, businesses that she wants to build and develop, a woman that she wants to turn into. And I want to be a part of that process. And I want to see her fulfill her goals and dreams just as much as I want to fulfill my own. Our drive complements each other. We complement each other. I'm the one that'll give away the store. She's the one that say, "No, hold on," and she can check me right, and you got to be with someone who don't mind getting criticism from, and that can withstand the storm of your ego when it rears its ugly head, and I think as a husband you have to be strong, but you also have to be open, and you have to learn how to listen to your wife. You have to be a listener. You have to take care of your children and love on your children and be there for your children. And you have to work, and you have to be a self-starter, and I think those are some of the roles of a husband.
And I guess the role of a wife, I would say, for me as a wife, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit as well, because when I first, again, ideas of marriage, we always have this gender set roles of what everybody should do, and I think that Amin and I do a great job in sharing that. Here we've grown to it because I absolutely had that idea and I absolutely wanted it to go that way. You take out the trash, you go fix the car, you go do this, and my husband is an intellect. To know what I mean, he can do handiwork, he can do all the other stuff, but he chooses to put his energy towards those things of the mind and of the intellect. And I
No worry, if I got $30, somebody else cutting me off.
and that bothers me. You have the capabilities of doing do it. But he's from the school that works smart and not hard. And he think working hard is him doing it himself. If he don't want to do it, he gonna hire somebody. So I had to really understand him as a man and understand that the gender roles that society has set for us is not what is necessarily have to be. The roles are what you decide in the marriage. Whatever works for you, whatever you do well, do it. And if it just so happened I'm a handy girl and I can go do this, then that's what I'm gonna do, and not make it seem like, oh, I'm doing your job. You need to do this. So as a woman, I can say that as the wife that I've been in this marriage, is that I am the one. I like to go out and do. I'm a doer. I'm a do. I like to do everything because I like it to be done a certain way. I like to be done at a certain time. So I'll do a lot of that. But I'm also a nurturer. I had to and that's hard because I had to allow that part to come out of me. I had to, because of growing up in the background that I've had as a child, and in the family structure that I saw and I was a part of, it caused me to be um, very guarded and very I'm going to do it all myself kind of woman, and not be sensitive, not as a, and for a while we have been women have been painted the picture of we had to be strong, independent black women. We can't be vulnerable. We cannot need a man, and that hasn't always been true. It's been times that I feel that way, but it has been also times that I've had to allow myself to need him and to want and to feel good about needing him and wanting to need him and things of that nature. So as a nurturer, as a woman, allow myself to nurture him, allow myself to nurture our marriage, our children, and allow myself to just be okay with being soft and vulnerable and in love and enjoy him as my mate, my friend, my business partner. And I came in because again, he's always known what he's always been doing what he was destined to do. I hadn't quite been there. I was doing my activism in my own way in church. So I know I love to help, and I definitely love to help teenage moms. I love to help those who are in need, and that's what I've done. But once we got married, I quickly, because I am a nurturer, because I am one who I gravitated to what he was doing, and I quickly found my place in that, and that's why I ran with it. We got it. We got the vision together. Let's do it. And I had to take a step back because I felt myself. Beginning to wonder, well, where am I in this? You know, where's my part? What am I really doing? I didn't really education. I love it and I know it's meaningful but that's not my passion. I want to teach the baby. And he does. What am I wanting to do? And I had to learn to find that and really be passionate about it and really pursue it. So my role as well is to really kind of keep us honest because I'm one of those. I'm an Aries by trait, by astrology. I'm a fighter and a warrior by spirit, and so I tend to kind of go in haste and do a lot of things and say a lot of things. And he's my balance because he thinks first. He thinks before he acts. So my role is kind of keep that fire going, kind of keep us rushing and going, and he kind of keeps it. We balance each other out, if I make sense. So that's it.
So, Peace Kim, so how did you blend your families? 'Cause I understand you said you was a teen mom, and how did that work? Because that's more like a reality for a lot of people too. When you meet someone, you already have children. How did that work? How did y'all work on that?
That was I thought it was going to be great because when he came in again, he's great with children, teenagers and things. So I was like, you've been working with them. And he came in, he kind of dated my children, before we got married. And I was like, oh, it's good. Everybody loved him. My daughters, my son, everybody loved him. And then it's like, once we said I do, it all changed. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? They started, it became a big turmoil. And I didn't understand because I'm like, he's a great guy. He's fun. He's easygoing. What's going on? I'm telling my girls, you got a man that wants to, take you on as his daughters. You have somebody, because I've had to be the diplomat. I've had to be the disciplinarian. I've had to be everything. And I'm cool with it. I like saying, no, you can't have it. And I'm like, he likes to give you what you want at times. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay. That's just what it is. I like to say no, you like to say yes. That's what it is. And so I had this idea that it was going to work out great, and it didn't. It was very hard. And you can see him over here frowning and squinting. And so I'll let him tell you a little bit. But I would have to say that. I will. Go ahead and tell your part. Once we got married, Rolanda, I have to actually say it surprised me, and it took a big blow up for my babies to really see it and get it together. But I'm gonna let him come on, Sean.
I wasn't surprised by the challenge.
I was.
I brought in two sons into the marriage. She brought in three children into the marriage, two daughters and a son. And I anticipate, that of course while we were dating and kicking it, and I went home, that everything was cool. But once everybody came up under my roof, especially as we came up under my roof, and then we went into a roof together, and now you under like Black Power rules, it's just a whole different culture shock. Santa Claus don't exist. Yeah. Santa Claus don't exist in my house. I'm talking about Kwanzaa and this red, black, green. all that. So now I'm like, oh, now this is a whole new little. This there was an adjustment period, you know. But as a man and as a strong man, you know, you have to own your situation and you have to be patient. You know, I wasn't. I didn't rush or force anything on. I didn't say, oh, you're gonna be this or not, and all that. It wasn't like that, you know. My daughters had a hard time just speaking to me for a while and just saying hello, you know, and I just forgave. I kept moving because I knew they were gonna have a hard time and they were having a hard time. But my job as a husband and a father was to keep loving them and just love them and be patient with them and provide them with a safe space to live, provide them with what they need as far as information, make, you know, and food and shelter. And I did that and loved them when they needed me. So she says, I like to say yes. Hell yeah. When children who didn't like me, they did not like when they wanted something, and if I had it, yes, I'm gonna give it to you because I'm gonna show you that. You know what I'm saying? But and when my children are wrong, it's a conversation with me, you know, and it's like, okay, hey, that's not what it is, you know. But as a so-called step parent, you kind of have that luxury. That with my biological child, she got to be his friend. You know, she got to kick it with him, you know. But with me, I was disciplinarian with my biological child, you know. Yeah, so you know, I was no with mine, she was no with hers, and it really took what really brought us together was when we had our first child together.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we had some blow ups and we had some good times. We had some great times. We always had great because our house has always been full of love.
Absolutely.
So even when it's a little tension, you look real silly trying to be huffing and puffing around us, right? But we had Uhuru 6 years ago. When we had Uhuru and we had someone in the house that everybody was related to, that was the glue. When everybody fell in love with Uhuru, that was the glue, and that's when everybody was like, you know what, I do love you for real, on the cool. I do love you, you know, and that's what it is. And we all have our individual relationships and we have our collective relationship. And I tell my babies all the time, I do not love all y'all the same because all of y'all different. So the type of love I give will be different. It's gonna try to complement who you are. I can't love Faith the way I love Brittany. They different. You got to give Brittany a certain kind of love, and you got to give Faith a certain kind of love. You know what I'm saying? And I like even with my wife, and I like to tell husbands all the time, you always making love. Making love ain't sex. Making love is something you construct. Love is something that you make tangible. So you make love to your family every day. You're about that act. I try to tell myself, make some love today, create some love today. And that's what I try to do. If it's just playing some Earth, Wind, and Fire and dancing and letting them laugh at me trying to dance, I'm you know, we just keep it light.
And he does it, y'all. He does it. He definitely is.
I be jamming.
Who he say he is. I like to be.
So let me ask y'all that. When you all as a couple have your discourse and disagreements, do you seek counsel from other people? And if you do, who and why do you choose that person?
I think we're blessed to have couples that are friends that have been together longer than we have. And you kind of go to certain people for certain things. Now, I say most of the time when we have arguments or discourse, we deal with it ourselves. We're pretty good at just kind of chilling, maybe creating a little space, you know what I'm saying, and coming back later and dealing with what we need to deal with. We have certain lines that we just don't cross. You know, we don't call each other out our names and that sort of thing. We don't do that. You know, we I think we do a pretty good job of not letting our emotions get to us to the point where we say a bunch of things that we can't take back. Not that it hasn't happened. It happens, you know, but yeah, we counsel. I know Steve and Tamika Muhammad has helped us quite a bit. There are a couple, their son, Rachmani, was actually our first student in Uhuru Academy, you know what I'm saying? And so they've been counseled. Even Kyrie and Preem, you know, they you know, we go to them, they've been together for 17 years. And that's when we need that raw.
Hold on, family.
They know how to set us straight and send our black butts back home.
Yeah.
You know, then you got Kamaria and Baba Bomani as well, and we actually married them, and so but they're great comfort for us. as well.
We've been blessed to have peers that are our counselors. We have not been able to be around elders that are, and we have them in the midst, but as and we got them available to us, but as far as our immediate peers, we have they're our age group or just tad bit older that we learn. We tend to learn from everyone that's in our group. And Baba Mahari is another person that we go to, and he's a brother that's our peer as well. He works a lot with forgiveness. So, but I think the main thing that I mean said that has helped us not really needing to really venture off to go find outside help is that we have boundaries that we set. We set them before we even got married, before the things come up, and that we won't cross that line. And then we also, it works that we're friends. So even if we have a discord, we tend not to go there because we want to still be friends with each other. We don't want each other to be mad at each other because we want to laugh and talk with the person next 10 minutes. Something's gonna happen. We want to be able to talk to them because we don't have anybody else really to talk to. We're like, hey, so what's so. We have each other, and that makes it work for us.
But she know all my secrets. You know what I'm saying?
Vice
I'm like,
versa.
man, let me get her back up in here before she get up here, folks. No, I'm just playing.
Vice versa. Something he allowed me to say.
So y'all have a question from a room. Vet says, when it comes to disciplining the children, are there issues, and who does it, or how is it administered?
Well, being a blended family. Now, earlier she told y'all that I'm the one to say yes and she's the one to say no.
And that's
now,
true.
But I'm gonna say this though.
It's true.
No, it's the truth. But I'm gonna tell you, she didn't tell you part B.
Okay.
I'm the one that stick to no. Now she say it first. I'm the one that sticks to no. I'm the one. So with our children, we have 7 children. It's 7 different personalities. 8. Oh Lord, we got 8 children. We have 8 children. That's 8 different personalities. And so we're pretty good at discussing who relates to who better.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that's a communication that y'all have to have. Now, of course, early on, especially when you come in a blended family, I would relay messages for her children through her.
Yeah,
she would relay for mine through me.
Yeah.
So if I'll come to her, man, Tajir ain't did his homework. He don't need to be on that game. So I go, all right, you ain't getting on that game. But that came from her. Really don't need to go to that dance.
Yeah,
so she's gonna. I guess what? You're not going to the dance, but she couldn't say that I said it. So we had to be each other's representatives to our biological children, and then it wasn't until later on, after that comfort level came, then it came more about, well, who is this person relate to? Better. Who communicates better? Like if Faith needs the hammer drop down, she talks to mom. If Faith needs a discussion, it's me.
Yeah.
If Tajiri needs a hammer, it's me. When he needs a discussion, it's her.
Yeah, because I come from school, Rolanda. I'm not gonna say I come from school as though he don't, but I'm gonna say this. My home, the way the discipline was in our home is that we beat first and ask questions later. That's how I learned. There was no question. What you wrong, you're gonna get your whip, and then we'll talk about it. So I didn't know how to communicate. So he helped me a lot to be able to communicate with my children, even if they still what they did needed some actual corporal punishment. They got it, but it was more. I was able to. Once we got married, I felt like I don't have to do that. I don't have to do it anymore. So I backed off a lot, especially as well. He won't say it either. He'd be like, you ain't got it. It ain't always got to be rah, 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 and beat him. So I just backed off. I'm an extreme. So I'm one extreme to the other. So I took the hammer off altogether. And it was like, I didn't do a lot of the whipping and the really just really corporal punishment like I did before. And it became, but It was more so I learned to communicate better. I learned to be able to verbalize what I needed to say, and it got the point across. And like you said, and learn to stick with things too.
And it balances too.
It does.
If you need that little pop, she'll get a pop. But I'm a more severe punisher because I find what you really love and I take back.
Yeah, and he sticks with it. There was once that our son, he didn't get to play with the video game for a year, and I just couldn't believe that he was able to stand by that. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Wow.
Okay.
And laugh the whole 12 months.
Psychological with his punishment. I just like to whoop you. We ain't got nothing later. We'll do it.
I want to see you thinking about it. I want it affecting your life.
Yeah.
I ain't touching. I'm laughing. I'm watching TV.
Well, D-Dot says she just joined the conversation. She's may have missed it. How long have you been married? They've been married 10 years, right? But she also said, have you ever received some not so nice advice from a family or friend, and how did you handle it? Not so good advice.
Well,
bad advice.
Probably from my probably from my side, because again, not being, being, community activism, being, just Black power, my family automatically, not even just my family, automatically in a lot of Black family society, if you come in and you Black power and you say Kwanzaa instead of Christmas, then he African or he Muslim.
I was a Muslim. Everybody.
And it was like, you in a cult, or you're being oppressed and everything, and it was like a lot of times my aunt and again, it was very matriarchy in our family. That was big. So you need to put your foot down. You need to let him know so and so and so and so. And one time my aunt told me, I'm just gonna let you know that you need to, whatever you need to do is your house, because we used to have we had a tradition where we'd go over to our home Christmas Eve, spend the night, and when we got married, I didn't go. That first year, I didn't go. And she was like, well, what is this? He can't come in and try to change stuff. You need to let him know. This is my rule. This is my tradition. I had to let her know. It's not even necessarily him. It's me. I don't want to be apart from I don't want to be apart from my husband. I enjoy my husband. I want to be at home. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
I'm gonna get a night to myself. I'm gonna get the house.
I think that I just had to really I've gotten a couple of bits and pieces of not good advice, but you just have to let people know I am okay. I love what's going on. I'm not being oppressed. I'm not brainwashed. I understand quite clear what's going on and what's being done. I agree. And I just have to let them know, you come see. Don't you think he's a nice guy? Oh yeah, he's good. Steve is what they call Steve's a good guy. But I'm just saying. But then if he's a good guy, then what he's doing is not bad.
Go there and beat him in dominoes.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Question from the room. Johnny asks, are you free and able to tell your wife anything, even if it hurts her feelings? If so, how liberating it is to you as a man or a husband? So are you able to tell us stuff if it hurt her feelings? Like you don't look right in that dress? No, I'm just kidding. No, but whatever it is.
What I've learned is that timing is everything in a marriage.
Right on.
Okay? Yeah. We're all free to say whatever we want to say, but we all have to understand there are consequences to everything that you say, and that timing, the move. So what I've had to learn is when to say it. You know, so initially, old me probably would have said, no, I can't tell her whatever, but I can. But it's a timing thing. It's an atmosphere thing. You know what I'm saying? And I've kind of seen her work, so I can. If something I need to say, I can tell her. I give her constructive criticism. I have to. Yeah. How are we gonna get better? You know what I'm saying? And I do it in a way where I'm just me. Because people tend to call you know-it-all and that, or you might come across as that, or trying to have all the answers. I try to listen first. I say what's on my mind, but then you gotta allow your compliment to process that information, deal with it how they deal with it. Because I want my freedom to have my attitude when she tell me the stuff I don't want to hear.
Yes.
I want to act like I know it already. You know you don't need to be eating that. I ain't had but one in the last 3 weeks. I want to be able to say that. I wanted to say, you right, baby, and put it up. I ain't made it there yet. So I expect a little you spicy. I expect a little kickback when I say, all right, baby, we need to oh, I know. I'm like, all right. I just smile. I think it's cute. It's kind of turn on sometimes. It's all good, you know. It's all good. So yes, Johnny, my classmate, my good brother, I am free, and it's very liberating when you're with somebody and you can say exactly what you want, even if it's gonna hurt their feelings.
And again, I think us being in a friendship, this relationship, not just being a marriage, but a friendship, it makes it easier, it makes it liberating to be able to say those things. Because again, you also, and what I've had to learn in my communication style is evolved, because I thought that if you're criticizing me, then if you're criticizing the behavior, you're criticizing me, and you're putting me down, and you are, you're trying to tear me down, and it's a fight. I'm ready. It's just fight or flight for me. But I've learned that you look at the person, have they, how that person loves you. Do you know this person? Do you know that they care for you? Do they know that they love you? So if what they're saying may not be a good thing, and you may not like it, but what's the intent behind it? And that's a big thing I had to learn. I think that's been many of a couple of days drawn on conversations or disagreements, because I was salty about something he said, and it may have been true, but I didn't like, don't try to point me out. Well, what about you? Because again, that's where I come from. I've been learning to communicate and be free in that. So that's a great question. I learned that and evolved.
So dear sister said, do y'all believe marriage can stand alone, like the saying, keep your business to yourself, or doesn't need community?
I believe it definitely needs community.
It's both.
I think in order for it to stand alone, you have to have a strong community to fall back on.
That's a good question.
To support you. Of course, there's certain things that are just between me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think the creator, I got brothers that I can go talk to that I know want my marriage to last. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I have sisters that I'm not related to that I can talk to that I know want my marriage to last. She has brothers and sisters that she can talk to that we know are not trying to be a disruption in our marriage. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we everything to everybody. Mm-hmm. No, you know what I'm saying? That's not what we do, but it's cool to where you have a couple you can go sit and hang out with, and you might just be flying, bring some stuff up and not even say it's you, and y'all get into a conversation and you can learn something and pull something from that. Our children get to see other married couples. Sometimes I can't get to my son, but another father can get through to my son. You got to be open to that. Sometimes our daughters have to go over somebody else's house. Yes. Before they get it. And that's happened. They left our house hollering and went to another couple's house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, powering them. Like, we catch each other's children.
Yes, we do.
We catch them. When they teenagers and they going through all of that, it's cool to have a community of families. Like, is such over there? All right, cool. Well, just call me tomorrow. And you can go sleep because you know that your baby is okay and that they're going to you can trust the advice that the other couple is giving you. So building a family is a team sport.
Absolutely.
How do y'all celebrate your marriage? What things do you do to celebrate your marriage?
Well, I'd say we celebrate our marriage every little moment, every day, that we can find a moment where we just be like, you know what, I'm liking you today. Let's go eat somewhere. Our favorite thing to do is to eat. I'm just telling you, we like to go eat at restaurants or something like that. But I think I have to say, every day we find little things that we find enjoyment in our marriage from, and we'll acknowledge it. We don't do the flowers and cards, and we'll do it every so often if we feel like it, because it's we go on a feeling thing. We don't do it because that's what society says you have to do. When it's your anniversary, you need to do a big to-do, buy your flowers, buy this, and make sure she know. We don't do that. And
stop doing. She don't do it, but look at me and laugh anyway.
No.
We laugh because I'm silly. Like I'm sure with some flowers, like
Yeah, he's right. I will be like, oh, what's this for? Who died? You know, so and so I have to say, we do a lot because we've been so immersed in the community activism. A lot of our special days and our anniversaries are probably celebrated doing things that has to do with the community. And I've gotten used to that, and we just make the most of it because throughout the weeks and the year, we're doing things that celebrate us anyway. So
like on her birthday last year, we were in Detroit. We were in Detroit celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Republic of New Africa, and we got to teach a Black History class at the Charles E. Wright Museum. But we were at a little Black-owned bed and breakfast spot that this family converted into a bed and breakfast, and it was like the historic suite. It was cool though. It was and I'm bougie,
Rolanda. When it comes to where I lay my head, so it was nice. Very, very nostalgic, and I love the history.
Yeah, but that tub been there since the 50s, and it was just. So I don't know, but we enjoy each other's company.
We do.
Anytime
we get away, we can steal away a moment for ourselves, just us. Be silly, be us. We don't have to be Bobby and Koyo. Yes. We can just be us. We don't have to.
Going back to having that village, because we had Mama Kamari and Baba Gomani took our 3 youngest, because we only got 3 left in the house with us.
Yes.
And they took our 3 youngest for a whole week, a couple of weeks ago, and we got to just chill. We got to just hang out. We left
and we planned a whole bunch of stuff and didn't do anything. We just stayed at home.
We laughed all week. We laughed, and we be reminiscing, talking noise, and just laughing and kicking it, man. It ain't hard.
So how important is spirituality or religion to your marriage?
Ooh-wee.
Spirituality and religion are different. So spirituality.
Both out there.
So spirituality is huge. We tend to, we will say when we want to make a huge decision, we'll, let's say what the ancestors say, go to your altar, throw your cards, throw your shells. We'll tell each other. So it's big. And then
we'll pray together.
We'll pray together. We get up and we'll pray together. We read the Quran. We'll read the Husia. We'll read the Bible. We'll read the Bible to each other. So spirituality is huge. Yeah, we do.
Before we even, when we first got together, one of our favorite activities was just sit up and she would just read scripture to me, aloud, because she was into the church. She had a beautiful church family, and one of the things I loved about her, even though I wasn't a Christian per se, I love the sincerity. I love beautiful people who love the Creator, and she's a beautiful person that loves the Creator, and I used to love how she read scripture to me. And it would calm me down. Then we would discuss it. And then I would kind of put an African-centered spin on the scripture and that sort of thing. We have our altar. I got an altar behind us. We got altars. When you walk into our house, you'll see our ancestral altars. Of course, we founded the Temple of New African Unity together. And we work together to help other people correct their names and then take on African names. We marry couples together as a team.
Yes.
She does a part of the ceremony. I do another part of the ceremony. Yes. So spirituality is everything. We believe that our ancestors are with us. It has to be bigger than you.
Absolutely.
When the challenges come, you have to understand that you represent all those who came before you and those who gonna come after.
Absolutely.
And we remind each other of that.
Dear sister said, can a successful relationship, can you have a successful relationship with different religious beliefs?
Yeah.
The thing is, our religion is just the method through which you live out your spiritual self. Like the religion is just a system which you activate your spirituality or bring it into fruition. And that's how we look at it. Your beliefs are something different.
Yeah.
Like you and I may have a different religious practice, but we may both believe that you should want for your neighbor what you want for yourself. That's a belief. We may both believe put your children first. That's a belief, right? So your belief system and your religion are not always, your religion don't have to be the same, but your belief system really needs to complement. And that's that's what we look past. We weren't the same religion.
No, again, I was 16 years in Christianity, and he had been doing, he was in the Nation of Islam. So when we came together, like I said, it was about the principles and the values. That was the foundation of both. And he was very, very encouraging about me. I didn't have to leave the church. And when I did leave, it was on my own accord. It was just a progression for me. But he encouraged me to stay and stay in the church because it was a great church. I have to say that I was blessed to be a part of a great foundational church. So he encouraged it. And I
would go and be good and be well behaved.
Yes, and I would go to the mosque with him, or I would go whatever events when he was a part of the Baha'i faith as well. He is a seeker of knowledge and faith, and so that really I admired that. So it was like he was able to do exactly what we were told to do in other faiths. Seek all knowledge. That way you'll be strong and faithful in what you believe. And that's what he did. And so that made me want to do it as well. And that made us get along. We've had now, don't get me wrong.
She quit me early.
One little small fallout about Oprah, Minister Farrakhan, Andy Copeland, and Jerry Savelle, and all of them.
She kicked me out of the house.
No, he ran about the house.
Because she was swinging her foot at my butt. That's why I ran.
We've had some issues, but they were very small compared to how large and massive that our relationship is as a couple. So yeah. Understand each other, and if you have the freedom, you give each other the freedom to be who you are,
So my wrap-up question is, what advice would you give the folks who are looking to be married one day and to build their own family? What advice would you give?
Wait, yeah, go. No, I'm sorry, I'm responding to the people who are in the back trying to get the answer. People in the background. I see my sister-in-law back there talking about not having children over 40. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. We love it.
Yes, we do. We love it. I would say what advice I could give is, I think basically what we've been saying throughout the whole thing is really enjoying the moment, enjoy each other just as a person. Respect, communication, clear communication, and love. Loving yourself first and loving each other. And I think the friendship thing means a lot. And creating those boundaries based on not wanting to lose that friendship, because even if we decided, Lord forbid, one day that we wanted to part as a married couple, I would want to still be his friend. That wouldn't be probably possible. So we would have to stay married, because we just enjoy each other that much. We wouldn't probably be able to be in another relationship with anyone else. But
unless he can put up with me, because he over y'all house every day.
So I would say those things: creating the boundaries, being friends, clear communication, respect, and having, like you said, having that village of other couples and other people who have the same values and principles, who will love you enough to tell you when you're wrong, and will uplift you when you're right. And still send you on back home. If you right and he's wrong, and I'm over there talking about that, and they like, girl, yeah, you're right, but okay, well, go home. When you going home? That don't mean you get to stay over here and prove to him that he's wrong and you're right. Go work that out. So I think that is big.
I would say, I always remember that a better you is a better us.
Yes.
You're married to yourself first, and always focus on self-improvement, self-critique. A lot of times we get defensive, and maybe we want to critique our mate, but we're not critiquing ourselves first. And understand that's the power that you have. You don't have the power to change who you with. You have the power to change who you are, and to grow within. And also to remember that the wedding is just the beginning. You get married every day.
Every day.
The marriage starts over every day that you wake up. You be getting married for the rest of your life. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And so don't look at the wedding like the finale. The wedding is the intro. That is not the finale,
Yes.
you know. And so you have to think long term and enjoy the journey. You know, enjoy the journey. Understand it's going to be challenges, man. And man up. Man up. They're going to be hills. They're going to be valleys. You know what I'm saying? But man up and focus on core values and understand that anyone that's shaming you is shaming themselves. And if you shame your wife, you're shaming yourself. And brother, she ain't leaving you because you did something wrong. She leaving you because you did something wrong and you was too much of a coward to say so. It's the lie that messes it up. Lies mess up marriages, not acts. Lies do. That's the number one thing. You're so honest with one another, you know, and give your mate the option to choose what to do with the truth.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so that would be the advice that I would give.
Wow, that was beautiful. I would thank y'all so much for taking this time to talk with me. I could talk to y'all all day. I mean, questions are still coming in. I would, if you
I know.
I know that we see the question.
We're trying not to take over. Thought, 7 Fees says, you know. Yeah.
So I tried to get some of them in, but if you can, go back into the video and answer some of those questions, like, you know, just kind of, because people kind of do that. They go in and talk to the person directly, because this is something, because what somebody asked is divorce an option? Like, I didn't even, you know, because y'all gave such good closing answers, but, you know, it would be nice to, you know, I don't know. I think people be watching Dynasty.
No, and
I grew up in that era too. And that Dynasty, like everybody gets divorced like every other week. Huh?
I was gonna say, those are things that we talked about before even getting married. There are certain questions and certain subjects we broached before saying I do, because we wanted to make sure that we were on one accord and that we understood what one another thought about it. So, and divorce was not an option. That is not an option for us.
And it's easy. Of course, it's easier said than done. But if self-improvement, like, you know how you look for something to make, if self-improvement is truly on the table, you ain't got to worry about divorce.
That's right.
That divorce won't be an option if self-improvement is the focus for in each individual.
Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you. I hear your children in the background and some company and all that good stuff. Thank y'all for making time to talk with me. I'll talk to you, dear Queen, next Tuesday. I'm so psyched about that interview.
Right, so, January 22nd, family.
And thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
We really appreciate this opportunity.
Y'all have a good night.
Well, thank you. Take care. Peace.
Peace.